everyone. My name is Raj Soren, Mindset Coach. And today we have a great opportunity to have a discussion with Abbas Megji. And he's going to be talking about his particular circumstances with his family and a business that he's set up. So, Abbas, tell me a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Abbas. I'm like 42 years old now. Um, Probably 8 years ago, I would have just been your happy-go-lucky accountant, just going through life. And my first child was born, Ara, um, 6 months after she was diagnosed with a condition called Rubinstein-Taybi syndrome, and that obviously affects her in her health, both physical and mental. So various learning difficulties, various. I think we was in the hospital every week for the first like couple of years of her life. So yeah, so that had a massive change, and then led us to start a clothing brand called Differently Perfect, which I'm sure we'll get into in a bit.
So, tell me a bit about your situation with your daughter because it's quite a rare disease,
Yeah,
disease or is it something else?
yeah. So Rubinstein-Taybi syndrome is what she was diagnosed with. It affects something like 1 in 125,000 newborns. It's a genetic disorder. It it me and my wife were not carriers. It was just some sort of mutation within her, and obviously that leads to various mental learning difficulties and also physical difficulties as well. So I think she didn't start walking till she was 3. We're still trying to toilet train, and she's 8 years old now. I think she spoke her first word at around about 4. And even now her speech is a bit limited. And then coupled with she has various heart conditions that we had to go into the hospital for, sleep apnea, alongside she had a tethered spinal cord, so she needed surgery on her spine at 4 years old, and then like chronic constipation and other smaller things that we just deal with on a day-to-day basis.
I mean, that's a lot to deal with as parents. I mean, how did you cope through all this?
Yeah, so I mean, to be honest with you, over the first like 2, maybe 3 years, I really struggled. I struggled to there was like things going on all at home. You've got the relationship with your wife as well, then gets a bit ropey, shall we say, at times. Alongside work, and then everyone's expecting you to be so happy because you're now a first time dad, and you know they're going through, or friends were going through their times as a first time dad, and they were sharing experiences, and it was like, well, I was not doing any of that. I was in hospital all the time. Um, so I found it difficult. I found it hard to just, and I'm not really a talker. I'll keep my like personal issues inside of me. So I did find it tough, and I think um, it's only when I started to accept life, like it sounds weird. It's like it's only when I kind of like let go of what I thought life was going to be like with a child, to then embrace the child that I do have. And from that moment, I think I started to feel better in myself, which then kind of strengthened up my relationship with my wife, and also then could just deal with Ara and her challenges a lot better, and a lot more like, well, it is what it is type thing. And yes, we may not have the same experiences as our friends, but we do have um, milestones that we can celebrate, and so we should celebrate them. So, and I think that's how I get through it.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, being new parents is always a challenge, but with the additional needs of your newborn, um, I mean, a lot of people will go through mental health and physical being unwell. So, what is it you think that got you through that? Is it something you do? Or are you a religious person? What do you
I
count
think
on?
I think at the time, family was very important. So we have a good, strong network around us. We have both my wife's parents and at the time my parents have unfortunately passed away since then. But kind of like together, understanding, working through. I feel like I also have a solid, strong set of friends. So like a good 5 or 6 of us that have grown up together, that have gone through uni together and life really together. And I think they help me keep me grounded and just a good sounding board sometimes. Like I said before, I've never been like a massive sharer. Like I wouldn't. It's not something that feels natural for me. Like I think the generation or the age or maybe the cultural areas that I'm from, you kind of like everything's amazing and you keep your problems to yourself and you just kind of have to deal with it, especially as a man in our culture, shall we say? So
Interesting.
sorry,
So family around you is important, you know, for
yeah.
support network. And you've got some friends, but you said that maybe in in is it Asian culture or just men in general, maybe not want to talk and share.
I think both. But to be fair, I do think it's changing now. But I think both is key. I think the whole Asian culture is at the time was kind of like everything's amazing. You know, you're like you're gonna say your job, like you're doing amazing at work, your home life's amazing, and your family life's amazing, and that's how you live your life. And any problems you kind of bottle them down. And also from an Asian culture perspective, it's quite similar, right? But I do think things are changing now. I think it's more open, and it should be when people are not mentally sound that they are able and feel happy to talk about it. And I think that's the right thing to do, and that's what we need to do as a society as a whole.
Yeah, so talking does alleviate concerns because what men tend to do is obviously carry a lot of burden and maybe keep it all in, trying to be strong for the family and for others around them. I run a men's wellbeing group, and that's Talk Don't Suffer in Silence. So that's very similar to the challenges. Everyone's got different burdens to carry throughout their life, and
Yeah, of
sometimes
course.
it's, you know, something that you're facing at the moment. Uh, Now, what advice would you give to other families that are experiencing something similar to get through these difficult times?
Yeah, so I think advice for father families is to talk to each other. So especially if you've a husband and wife, like I think I read a stat the other day where it's like 60% or 70% of parents that have especially a child end up in divorce. I mean, it's crazy, and so that just tells you the amount of strain on a relationship. So the communication between uh, both parents is key. I think you need whether it's your partner or someone else to talk to and confide in um, and let go of any issues around judgment or anything like that. Everyone's situation is very specific. I find um, even within the RTS kind of grouping, there will be two children at the same age but have very different challenges, and how we cater to those different children will be very different. So there should be no judgment, and it's to find that circle that you trust that will be free of that judgment where you can talk, and sometimes you let it out, and it's okay to not be okay. And I think there's good days, there's bad days, there's indifferent days, and you've just got to deal with them and be able to talk about the days that haven't gone so well to prepare you for when it does go well.
Yeah, I like what you said. It's okay not to be okay and to have a trusted circle. And the added burden and challenges that you have creates a, you know, that bit of pressure on the marriage. And like, I do, I have heard the situations where it has broken down marriages, and you know, because of all this additional challenges with a newborn, if they're not well or if they're ill. So you know, you're doing well to get to this stage, and it's how many years now?
Oh, so she's 8 years old now. I'm gonna be 9 in October. Oh yeah.
And how's he getting along?
She's good. So we were told um, chances are she won't speak, chances are she won't walk. And I think they do that just to kind of not raise your expectations too high as well. But yeah, so she's now walking, she's moving around, not probably not as a typical 8-year-old, but so we do need to take a wheelchair sometimes when we know we're going to go long distances. But she is mobile. And she's talking more and more every day. She's starting to read, and she's even trying to write now, which we never thought would be possible. So for us, we're getting there. We're moving toward. We'll just move forward and just see how well she develops over time. But yeah, so she is improving.
So it's good to know the progress she's made, and that's wonderful. And like you said, you were given certain um, information from doctors that she wouldn't be able to do certain things, and it looks like you're making good progress today. So that's great news.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. She's
So tell me about the journey when you had to adapt and for the clothes that your daughter
yeah.
was wearing it, and you led up to your business.
Ara had a massive issue with clothing. So the labels, the themes were very irritable for her skin, and she had large sensory challenges around it, and it would be very hard to find any kind of clothing which rested on her skin that she would wear. Coupled with the fact that obviously her gross motor skills are not the best, so to do zips and that also was an issue. Um, so the untold times of cutting out labels and trying to make sure the seams are not resting on their skin, or trying to do something clever with the clothes that you just get off the shelf at whatever department store you go to, was getting just frustrating, really. So me and my wife mainly, designed a hoodie which was seam free, tag free, had magnetic buttons. We put extra padding around the ears to just kind of reduce some of the noise, along with kind of worked out a way to build an eye mask within it. And so then we sent it off to a factory to create like a sample. And we use that, and we never, no intentions of trying to mass produce anything, and we were just wanted one sample to give to Ara, and then we'd be on our way. So Ara started wearing it, and then the feedback she got from everyone was, like, this hoodies are amazing, and like, where can we get one? Da, 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 which then led us to start sell the jumpers. We created a company, created a website, reached out to all various of Ara's clubs and parents that were interested. So originally we bought a batch of like 50 units in various kid sizes, which we ended up selling through. Um, and now we have our second batch going through now, and we've also added the adult sizes. We had some feedback where people preferred like the lighter yellow kind of color. And I think for the third batch, we may try and do both, like the yellow and the black color. So that was going really well. But then in between batches, so once after we sold out and we were waiting for the second batch to be produced, we were thinking about what else could we do. And then we got on to the idea of printing t-shirts. So we then bought all the equipment um, at home, and now we design and print kind of like neurodivergent affirmation t-shirts, as well as doing the hoodies, all that differently perfect. Yeah.
Wow, that's a steep learning curve, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden you're into a variety of different developing and creating garments for the neurodiverse. That's fascinating, really. So, so what type of demand do you think is going to be for garments like this? Have you done some further investigation?
yeah. So I think the demand is huge. I think there's a lot of people, both neurodiverse and neurotypical, that that have different feelings around clothing on skin, and it can be very particular. Hence, why everyone's got a specific brand or a specific jumper that they always seem to wear, and I think that has something to do with it. But I think the demand is strong. Right now, we are literally just organically posting on social media, and we're generating sales from that. So we haven't even looked at any kind of paid advertising. And what's interesting is a lot of our traffic then comes from Google through various blog posts that we've done around sensory challenges as parents, which has also driven traffic and sales. So we are very much at the start of our journey. And I think without even going into kind of paid advertising or anything like that right now, I think the demand's very strong.
Well, that's good to know. Anything that can help individuals get through their day to day. And wearing clothes is a very important part of our lives, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
So what is your website and how do people get hold of you?
Yeah, so our website's www.differentlyperfect.co.uk. You can also get hold of us at info@differentlyperfect.co.uk email address if you have any specific questions. But yeah, but there's the website. We run a blog on there as well, so we try and post a blog post a couple of times a month on just our journey and being neurodiverse parent or looking after a neurodiverse child or caring for, should I say, a child with neurodiversity challenges and how we navigate life. And again, like I said before, the stuff we talk about works for us, may not work for everyone, may not work for anyone, but it's just our journey and how we navigate life, really.
Brilliant. Well, all the very best of success with your venture, and
Thank you.
obviously sending our best wishes for your young daughter. And
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
it was a pleasure. Well, thank you for
Yeah,
that.
it was great. Great for having me on as well. Really appreciate that.
It's been a real pleasure. So for those that are really interested in this area, I will post the website link and email on the video. Do like and subscribe, and I'll see you on our next journey. Take care. Thank you.